All right, everyone. Today, we are diving deep into a story that is just pure adventure, heart, and soul. This is our love letter to an absolute masterpiece by Beverly Jenkins, Tempest.
So, let's start with this wild question, right? Can a marriage that starts with, and I mean this literally, an accidental gunshot, can that actually turn into a great love story? I mean, that's the setup, and it's just an incredible premise for a romance.
Okay, so let's get our bearings. The book is, of course, Tempest, by the one and only Beverly Jenkins. It's a historical romance published back in 2018. And the setting? We are being transported to the rugged Wyoming territory, way back in 1885. Jenkins just brings this world to life in a way that feels both huge and epic, but also super personal.
All right, first up, a bride, a bang. And yeah, you can take that literally. This is not your typical quiet arrival for a mail-order bride. Not even close.
You know, it all starts with this letter. Dr. Colton Lee is writing to his future wife, and it's so formal, so full of hope. He's a widower, and all he wants is a mother for his little 6-year-old girl, Anna. He's picturing someone quiet, proper, someone to bring a little calm back into their lives.
But the woman who steps off that stagecoach? That's Regan Carmichael, and she is nothing like he imagined. Forget quiet and demure. We're talking about a sharpshooter, a woman who wears denims and is completely independent. She is, in every sense of the word, a force of nature.
So their first meeting is it's pure chaos. Regan has to defend her stagecoach from outlaws, which she does, by the way, but then she mistakes the posse coming to help from more bandits. And in all the confusion, she accidentally shoots her own husband-to-be, Dr. Colton Lee. Her big welcome to Paradise, Wyoming is a trip to the sheriff's office. You just can't make this stuff up.
And you can imagine Colton's reaction, right? He's sitting there with a bullet hole from his own fiancée, and he just says, "I'm not sure we'll mesh." I mean, talk about an understatement. This isn't just a rocky start, it's a massive gaping hole in their relationship before it even begins. How on earth do you come back from that? So once the literal and figurative dust settles, this brings us to our next chapter, an unlikely partnership. These two could not be more different, and now they have to figure out how to live together.
And to really get Colton, you have to understand where he's coming from. He's a grieving widower. He's still completely in mourning for his first wife, Adele. In his mind, his heart is buried with her. There's just no room for anyone new.
But Regan, she is determined. She's smart. She realizes that the way to this family isn't through the man with the locked-up heart. It's through his daughter. Her main goal becomes winning over this quiet, lonely 6-year-old girl, Anna.
And this, right here, is where the story just starts to bloom. A family in bloom. This is where Regan's presence starts to change everything. She brings this energy, this light that starts to thaw out this cold, quiet house.
So how does she do it? With something she calls the Anna Fun list. Simple things, looking for shapes in the clouds, learning to fly a kite, playing marbles, basically teaching this little girl that it's okay to just be a kid and get a little dirty. It is one of the most heartwarming parts of the whole book.
And you see the impact through Anna's eyes. She sees her father and Regan kissing and says, "I like that you're kissing. It means you're happy again." Wow. I mean, coming from a 6-year-old, that one line just shows you everything. Regan isn't just healing the daughter. She's bringing the father back to life too.
Okay, so everything is starting to feel hopeful, right? But this is still the Wild West. Just as they're starting to become a real family, real danger shows up. Their love is about to come under fire, literally.
And this threat just keeps escalating. First, Regan and Anna get shot at by someone they don't see. Then, the brother of that outlaw Regan dealt with, a guy named Dunn Bailey, starts openly threatening them. But the climax, the real villain here is Minnie Gore, the late wife's aunt, who actually hires Dunn to kill Regan. This whole situation forces Colton to become the protector he needs to be. It's not about an arrangement anymore, it's about defending his family.
So after all of that, the drama, the danger, the healing, what's our final verdict?
It really all comes down to this one line from Colton. He finally tells her, "I didn't know I'd come to want you for myself so very much." And that's it. That's the moment his heart finally opens up completely. He realizes he doesn't just need her for Anna, he needs her. He's ready to love again. And I think that's the big lesson here, right? True love isn't about finding some perfect person who checks all the boxes. It's about building a new life, a found family, with the beautifully imperfect person who somehow makes you whole again. It's about healing.
So, our final thoughts? This book is It's a beautifully written story about healing and getting a second chance at happiness. Regan Carmichael is an absolutely unforgettable heroine. She's strong, she's funny, she's unconventional. And beyond the romance, Beverly Jenkins captures the history of the American West with so much detail and heart. It's just an emotional, adventurous, and deeply satisfying read.
For all those reasons, the incredible characters, the emotional depth, that thrilling plot, we have to give Tempest a 9.5 out of 10. It is an absolute must-read.
And hey, if you love this story as much as we did, guess what? There's more. Tempest is actually part of a series. So if you want to keep going, check out Forbidden, which is about Regan's aunt Eddie, and Breathless, which tells her sister Portia's story.
And that's it for our little love letter to Tempest. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you follow and subscribe so you don't miss our next explainer on another story you're gonna love. Thanks for hanging out with us.